Self-sabotage can be one of those things that easily goes under the radar because many of us aren't taking the time out to practice truly observing ourselves, looking at patterns and emotions and thoughts that simply just don't align with what it is that you truly want. And so it's important to take time out to practice self-awareness, practice and be in a space where you are spending time with yourself in a way that doesn't allow you to be distracted by outside sources. And you can actually observe and master observing yourselves as you interact, as you engage with this world. Because the world that is within you, right? The world that is your mind, your beliefs, your emotions, that world is really what is supposed to create and cultivate the outside world. It's supposed to influence the outside world, not the other way around. And for many of us who really identify with this tendency to self-sabotage the things that we desire, we have to understand that what's happening is from being a child to now, we are continuing to let the outside world influence us. And so you have to learn how to stop doing that. And then once you do see the patterns and see how you show up and how you self-sabotage the things that you desire and your ability to materialize the life that you want and your purpose, then you have to start implementing new patterns or new ways of thinking, right? New habits in order for you to cultivate and continue to build the momentum of you actually being a conscious creator. So in this understanding of developing new habits, there's a few things that you want to keep in mind. One of those things is consistency and discipline, right? They go hand in hand. Now, a lot of these things you will find go hand in hand and may not be in any particular order, but you must understand that in order for you to be successful in anything, you have to be consistent. And consistency can also be defined as being disciplined, right? Because when somebody is disciplined, they are consistent with what it is that they need to do in order to maintain and materialize what they want. So you have to understand that, okay, if you have to be consistent, what is a way that is going to be sustainable for you to do so? Being mindful about that, you have to really look at yourself once again, practice self-awareness, and really be honest and transparent with yourself about what it is you have done, what you have achieved, what caused you to stop, quit, right? And really observe your limits. And when I say limits, I don't mean that there are actual limitations, but limits in terms of where do you tend to go and at what point are you feeling overwhelmed and then you stop, right? Because you want to have a plan, right? An actionable plan, a sustainable plan that is based on understanding what will overwhelm you and what won't overwhelm you. Because if you are understanding where that threshold is, then you can recognize that whatever plan that you implement, it is a plan that is sustainable and that is customized to you, right? You have to recognize that everybody has a different threshold. Everybody has different abilities as far as what they can do on every single day, right? Or a single moment without feeling a sense of being exhausted, being tired. And so you have to identify that for yourself. That is probably the most important tip, right, that I'm going to give you, because without that, you cannot move forward with anything else. Without recognizing where your threshold is as far as your ability to take action and maintain that action on a consistent basis. Without that awareness, then you're going to always continue to quit. You're going to stop. You're going to make up excuses. You're going to see that, okay, this isn't what's for you, right? This isn't for me, right? That's what a lot of people say. But what you need to do is recognize that it's not that the thing isn't for you. It is how you're going about materializing it. That isn't for you because you're not really mindful about what works for you. Okay. Or what talent or what abilities or what is your emotional intelligence like, right? What is your ability to push through? Where does the resilience, right, begin to come in, and where does it stop, right? Where does it end? So you have to be mindful about that. So discipline simply means, yes, when you wake up, you don't feel like doing it. but you understand and you know that it is imperative that you do it because you may not want to do the individual task, but you absolutely want the result of that task. And if you are disciplined, right, in the moment you may not be in the mood, but you understand that you have to do it because you are most certainly in the mood to get the results. So you have to understand that discipline isn't about wanting to do it. It's about simply acknowledging this has to be done. You want the results, right? You desire the results, and therefore you have to get it done. And so it's not a matter of wanting to do it. It's not a matter of being in the mood to do it. It's not a matter of feeling like doing it. It simply is. It's simply a decision, a commitment that you made toward the actual materialization of that which you desire. You see? So if you want that dream car and you have to save up money for it, that's what you have to do. If you want to lose a certain amount of weight and you have to be active and go to the gym, that's what you have to do. That's what's getting done. You see? So it doesn't matter what it is. It's just simply you taking time out, analyzing, observing yourself, recognizing what you can do, recognizing that it's not about if you feel like doing it or not. It's just simply about what has to get done. And then what has to get done is something that is sustainable for you to maintain consistently, right? So if it is weight loss and you're saying, I want to lose a certain amount of pounds, then you have to, you know, think about, okay, how many miles does it take to burn this amount of calories? Okay, so if I take a 1 mile run every single day, this will burn this amount of calories. If I eat this amount, this will give me this amount of calories. When you do the math and understand calories and exercise and fitness, then you can actually come up with a real plan toward achieving that goal. But you have to be consistent every single day in order to get those results, right? If you want to write a book, well, okay, some people can sit down one whole day and write a complete chapter. Some people can write a whole book in one day, right? Some people need to write a paragraph a day, a page a day. So you have to make sure that it is sustainable. And what I mean by that, it doesn't wear you out in the slightest. When you are done doing what it is you have assigned yourself to do on a regular basis, you don't feel tired, right? You don't feel worn down. In fact, you may even feel like, you know what, I could do more, but you don't, because that will then lend you to, right, this space of pushing your threshold, pushing your limits. And then it is easy to go into a space of burnout, right? So make sure that the steps that you are implementing, that you're doing them on a consistent basis, that you are doing it to the point, all right, where you are feeling energized, right? You are excited about what you're doing. Don't continue to get to the point where you're doing it until you're tired, because eventually that will wear you out, that will burn you out, and you will eventually quit, all right? You will stop most times for most people, okay? This is a generalization, but this is a way of being really mindful about the process of you materializing that which you want. So you have to do it, right? That's discipline. It doesn't matter, right? But remember the fact that whatever it is that you're doing is so sustainable that it almost feels like you're not doing anything at all, but you are. Okay. So you have that to really think about and take with you, like, and just respect and honor, like, okay, I did that. And every single day you do it. Right. And then give yourself maybe a time period, a month, 2 months, then you can step it up a little bit, instead of saying, all right, I wrote one paragraph every day for a month. Now I'm going to write 2 paragraphs every day for a month. After a month, 2 months of that, you say, okay, I'm going to write 3 paragraphs. You're building that muscle, right? Same thing with fitness, same thing with food, same thing with relationships. I'm going to spend time with my partner, my spouse, right? I'm going to spend 30 minutes a day just focused on us, right? I'm going to spend an hour a day just focused on us. So you want to be mindful about that and keep building that muscle. Because if that is something that doesn't come natural to you, then relatively speaking, that muscle is really weak. So you have to build that up before you get to a point of just straight, crashing and having a complete burnout. So be mindful about that. This journey is really about recognizing who you are, how you show up, your patterns. And then just because something is a weakness doesn't mean you get to avoid it, doesn't mean that there's no hope. What it means is that you just simply have to be strategic about how you build that weakness up into a strength. Okay. So once you do that, then you get into creating these micro habits, right? And essentially, it's that it is taking the thing that you wish to create, recognizing that there is a way, right, to mindfully create that thing. And by turning something that initially started out as something new, right, something uncomfortable, something that you had to just figure out and it takes work, eventually that becomes a micro habit, something that you just simply do every single day, right? It's like what I say, it's like brushing your teeth. When you were a child, it wasn't fun. You didn't like doing it. You may not like doing it now, right? But it's something that you just do. It's a micro habit, right? It takes a few minutes out of your day to just simply brush your teeth, right? Floss, do all those things that, we should be doing, right? And then you just simply move on. It's not a big deal, right? 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and then you just keep it moving. So when it comes to thinking about it that way, it gives you some real perspective in how you can take something that in the beginning appears to be a struggle, because it is to an extent, right? Because it's change, it's mindful and conscious, transformation, right? That you're doing, and that takes adjustment. But then once you have made the adjustment and the understanding of what that looks like on an everyday basis, because in the beginning, when you don't know what it looks like, it seems really overwhelming. But then once you figure out a plan and you understand, "Oh, okay, this is what I do every single day," then it goes from being an adjustment to simply being something that you do every day, a micro habit. And when you have those micro habits, that is where the shift happens. That is where the power of the manifestation of that which you want as a result of those habits actually come into play, right? Actually materialize. It almost feels like you're not doing anything because these micro habits are so minuscule when you compare it to the entirety of your whole day. But that is the power of that small accumulative effort that you put in on a consistent basis. That's the power of consistency. If you do it every single day, then eventually over time, you can be amazed as to how it accumulates into this amazing expression of your work, of your consistency. Okay. And so that's when you absolutely must take time to celebrate those wins. You have to look at, even in the day, even when you are doing something that may seem just small and minuscule, right? Whether it is writing a paragraph a day for your book, right? Whether it is walking around the block, right? Acknowledge yourself, right? Clap, hype yourself up. That's right, I did that. Tell yourself that. Pump yourself up. Recognize that what you did and you doing it every single day is actually going to create the results that you desire, actually means that you won, you see? Because if you want to get into being competitive, some people thrive on that. Chances are, whatever it is that you're creating and doing every single day, most of the world is not doing that. So you've already won, right? You already are winning. You're in the mindset of doing something and making real productive change in your life. So own that. And when you take ownership of that, you build up confidence, right? Those, that ability to give yourself positive rewards as a result of you putting the work will reinforce you putting in the work. Okay. So give yourself rewards for the work that you're putting in. Now, I don't recommend you know, eating a cookie every time you walk around the block, right? Because that is counterproductive. So you have to be intentional even about the rewards. Make sure the rewards align with a goal, right? Your goal, one of your goals. It may be associated with the thing that you're doing or have done, or it could be related to a whole separate goal, whatever it is, right? But you want to make sure that you are mindful about all aspects of your life and making sure that you are implementing things, actions, thoughts, emotions, right, that are going to support the truest version of who you know yourself to be. And that is often who you want to be, right? Who you desire to be. So own that. Then you really want to focus on building out your tribe. Your tribe is your family. And when I say family, I'm talking about in terms of purpose. We all have a purpose. We all have something that we are meant to do. We also have something that we desire to do more than anything else. In order for you to actually do that in a way that makes a true impact in the world, look to others who are connected, who are in alignment with that purpose or desire. It may not be directly the same exact thing, but it can be a team of people, right? Or a community that have that in common, that have that passion for that thing that you can talk to, connect with, teach, and even learn from, and you can build. Okay. Building is and collaboration is probably the most important thing of is regarding creation of something big. I mean, you can absolutely create something on your own, but when you're talking about really going to a larger scale and scaling up and taking it to a whole nother stratosphere and experience, connection and working with others is the way to go. But it's also going to make you fulfilling your desire so much easier because now you are creating an environment that cultivates that desire that you have, rather than you may be in an environment where there's people who have no interest in what it is that you want to do. In fact, they may even tease you about the thing that you are passionate about. So that isn't in support of what you want to do, right? Even though you may be strong-willed, you may have a strong mind, you may feel that it doesn't affect you, it still does. Because if you had to compare and say, well, if I'm in a group of people who have nothing in common with my desire, they don't like what I do, they tease me about what I do, then I have a group of people who absolutely understand, they support, they do it. Where are you more likely to be productive? You're far more likely to be productive in that group that supports and is aligned with what you desire to create. So find that group, right? In this world, this day and age, it's easier to find people of like minds to communicate with, to connect with, to build with. And that's where you actually create a, a world, literally, of your desire and all the things that you wish to create for yourself, right? You can absolutely create a bubble around yourself focused on only what you want to do. That's the beauty of the world today. And if it is in alignment with your purpose, if it is in alignment with positivity and beauty, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So go find your tribe, okay? Go find your tribe, go build discipline, consistency. Make sure you have a good plan. Make sure it is a sustainable plan. And it's just simply a matter of this physical realm's essence and concept of time before that which you desire actually materializes and is right before you in your hand. Thank you so much. Feel free to go to drabundant.com, subscribe to my daily newsletter, get access to this free ebook and so much more. Continue to join me on this journey. Peace and abundance always.